Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So, if you're new here, I want to welcome you in. We're going to be doing a bit of a check-in on a masculine soulmate. This could be someone you consider to be a twin flame counterpart, and all of a sudden I see vampire and addict cough. This could also be another individual that you could be dealing with or just kind of curious what the fuck is going on in their life, especially if this is someone where they're ghosting you, they're not communicating with you. And while I get the sense a lot of you are doing a wonderful job staying detached from this person, especially if they're not willing to show up, there's still this insatiable curiosity. There is something going on with this masculine, and I'm gonna have a quick check just to see where it is that they are at, their feelings towards their karmic situation, any feelings that they might have towards you. What is it that you need to know about this situation, so that you can wisely tackle this person? Not literally. I don't know why I find that really funny. I think just a few of you are just beyond frustrated, but we're going to see the outcome and hopefully get you guys into a healthier headspace where you can just acknowledge that this person is who it is that they are and you can finally move on with your life. So, before I go to cut, we have the card of the Messiah. We do have someone who's dealing with a Messiah complex. And while the masculine tends to have a bad habit of being the rescuer, I feel like this masculine, they've caught themselves up in a bunch of commitments, they've overcommitted, and sort of the games that they've played has backed them into a corner because after I go to cut, we got the card of the servant, which says delights in serving others with a free and loving heart. However, it's using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. This masculine has settled. And it's not necessarily a good type of energy to necessarily be in. So, what do we have? We got the card of the engineer, ability to give creative energy, a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas, as opposed to relying on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. All right. Masculine upon masculine upon masculine. Inner strength, clarity, perseverance, boundaries, adventurous, logical, responsible, grounded, taking action, as opposed to needing outer validation, ignoring the alpha, forceful, fear of intimacy, competitive, fear of appearing weak. Okay, yeah. Unresolved trauma, abuse of power, separation, the runner, along with the prostitute. You can have fun with this one. Accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit, as opposed to places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. This masculine has you know, ever heard of the term indentured servanthood? I think that's a little bit more of a like a Commonwealth term. And this is like a form of slavery where you can purchase yourself out eventually, or it's sort of like an indentured contract. There's something that the masculine has committed themselves to in the name of survival. They genuinely think at the base of it all that they're being a servant. However, this is a servant that gives too much, overgives everything, and this masculine still is struggling with feeling empty. Um, these archetypal cards are actually external characters that they are dealing with at this time. This masculine got some really bad advice, and I feel as though they got some bad advice from you. Masculine energy, and you can be male, female, or non-binary. We all have masculine energy. That's the part of us that wants to tap into our inner strength, that wants to move forward with life, that feels grounded and takes responsibility for one's actions. However, the masculine that we're tuned into right now, they have a lot of blame shifting issues. They don't know how to take responsibility for themselves. And in some ways, if this person has ghosted you or has chosen to stop communicating with you, I need to ask you this. Were they being honest with you in the first place? Were they actually communicating you from an authentic, truthful space this entire time? As much as I don't want to make you suspicious or paranoid regarding this person's actions or inactions, but the question needs to be posed because you are you. I get a lot of your energy out of this. You're rising into your masculine energy. And this person, they can't persuade you to be the way that they want you to be. This person doesn't understand what love is. They think that love is something that you get external validation for, and also attention, because the prostitute energy is sort of like whoring out your integrity or trying to survive. This person has compromised themselves secretly deep down inside. If I want to tune into, because this is like what their soul energy is trying to tell the masculine at this time, this is more of the lesson that they're watching you and they're ignoring you at the same time. It's because what they see in you, hmm, they're so fucking intimidated. You might have admired this person this entire time, but they actually have, it's not technically admiration, it's technically jealousy. This person has no sense of self-worth for themselves, and they think that you don't need them, which is true. But on the other hand, hmm, they only know how to be useful by finding people who are, I'm sorry to say, people who are pathetic. That's the word I'm being given. But when I say that, it's more that they're attracted to trauma. They're sexually attracted to crazy. They are attracted to the idea of self-sacrificed is a form of love. This masculine's constantly trying to prove their love. So I want to dive in a bit deeper in the card text. This was sticking to the deck right here, but we do have the card of the devil along with the seven of swords. So we're gonna hang on to the devil here, even though I'm not gonna shuffle for it. But if the devil shows up, there's an ask for you. While I do channel divine masculine energy, and I'm constantly going back and forth wondering, is it a good idea that I channel divine masculine energy? Because the key thing I do not want for you, the viewer, is to get so obsessed with what's going on in this person's life that you accidentally forget that you're going through something similar in your own. If you are on the path of enlightenment, and especially if you're further along in your healing journey, really my hope and prayer is when I do divine masculine channelings, you start to see yourself in it. Even if I'm being a wee bit flippant, can you see yourself even if this person is ghosting? Can you see a version of yourself that has no problem giving up your sanity, your integrity, all in the name of feeling safe, comfortable, and secure in something that is unstable and mediocre? Because I really get the sense you guys are done with this, because deviled energy will keep trying to egg you on and get your attention. And I think some of this is a warning. The masculine may actually show up. And if they've ghosted you, or it's more that they're trying to keep things in their ball court, they're only going to show up when it's convenient for them. And if this devil is showing up, you could be picking up on this energetically. And I have to say right off the bat, do not feed the subconscious beast. It's going to be so important that you make it a daily practice to learn how to observe your emotions. Be like, oh yeah, that memory of that fucker is coming up. Inhale in and exhale. And if you can imagine that thought, that emotion being pushed away from you. And if you are still struggling, I do highly recommend you join us on Patreon. The members do have access to a series of cord cutting ceremonies, but also there are some meditations within there that help you reconnect to who it is that you truly are. The only reason I believe that anyone looks at what the fuck is going on with divine masculine is because you've lost a sense of yourself and your identity in this individual. And a lot of you are trying to reclaim yourself, but some of you are still stuck with this idea. And it's a societal cultural problem that we have to resolve this in person. But this is a issue that, say if you lost, say, a loved one, and or maybe you lost someone out of your life that you had a very hinky relationship with. This is common with folks where if they had a difficult relationship with their parents and the parent dies, the child has this sort of struggle thinking that, well, my parents are dead now, I can't work things out. And that's not true. You have the power to work things out without the presence of this individual. Consider that rejection is a form of protection. This masculine, though unawakened, their soul is still guiding them on a very, very subconscious level. And them ghosting you is their soul's kindness towards you. Does that make any sense? At the very core of it, past the ego, beyond how this person's behavior has been, subconsciously they know they can't talk to you. Their ego is giving them all kinds of different information, but their soul is actually protecting you because this person, they're literal garbage. That's how your guides want you to start seeing this person. Before I go to cut, we do have the card of strength. It takes supreme bravery to look past the fear and the anger and even this disappointment that the things that you hoped you could have gotten out of this relationship are not true. This masculine has no problem staying in the illusion, but if I'm seeing that card of strength and courage, you are on the track of getting into a higher vibrational frequency. Nine of Cups. And this is interesting. Even though I'm tuned into the masculine, remember what I said earlier. Can you recognize yourself in this reading? Like the higher vibrational aspects. You know, that's why I was talking on Patreon about reclaiming your identity and how there are tools available to you to help you reconnect with all the information that you ever want in all of the universe. You can access it. This masculine has been siphoning you to get sacred information. And quite frankly, you're not well compensated for what this relationship exchange is supposed to be. What are the feelings towards their karmic situation? Emperor. So this masculine, they have actually committed themselves to somebody who's non-committal. Oh dear God, I do want to get a quick confirmation. We're just gonna go, animal deck to animal deck. Did I? Okay, I think that's all in the upright. Barry's has been changing up what she wants to do. What's up with this karmic feminine with their feelings towards them? Because I actually feel like the masculine has dug their toes into the ground and they're like, okay, I'm going to commit for commitment's sake. If you have been accusing this person of being a non-committal little bitch, you did hurt their feelings. And rather than going to you to resolve this, they've decided, fuck you, I'm going to commit to this and I'm going to show you how committed I really am. Wow, we're so fucking grown up. What do we have? Yeah, Page of Wands. This is all talk, dancing around. But because this masculine can't tune into their own emotionality, again, they're sexually attracted to crazy. They are sexually attracted to the fight, the arguments, the minutia. What do we have up here? Yeah. Knight of Wands. Not Knight of Wands. Got the Page of Wands. And I want to see this as a Knight of Wands. It's this, no, okay, I'm going to commit to this. It's not even a good relationship. They're trying to prove something to you. So I need to ask you right off the bat. What are you trying to prove to the masculine? What are you trying to prove to your inner masculine? Can you turn this around? There's a lot within your psyche that has been twisted up because of this situation. And all I want to do is just sort of, get like a tangled necklace, or if you have to go behind your desk and, untangle all of the old cables that are covered in dust bunnies, and it's disgusting. And it's just sort of like 3 years worth of, a tangled hot mess that you finally decided to clean up. This is what's going on in your conscious and your psyche. But with the masculine, yeah, five of pentacles, they've committed themselves to a relationship for the sake of commitment. They actually don't care if they're happy or not. So there's an ask for you. What's motivating you to elevate, to be in loving relationships, to find your soul purpose? Whatever example this masculine gave you, it's a bad example, like right off the bat. And it's a bad example. They're doing it just to prove something. I think this masculine, like, they probably have some kind of like parental wound. Like, maybe they had a father that they never felt like they could ever please, or they're just way too obsessed with trying to get outer validation. And you might have given that to them for a little while, but after, once you kind of woke up and decided to smell the proverbial coffee, um, you started seeing through this masculine. And I think you loved them for it at first. Like, you did love them at first, for it's like, oh, I thought this person was, they were going towards, the inner paradise. We're gonna make empires together. I thought there was gonna be all these great big things. And then you started seeing them for who it is that they are, and they freaked out. They couldn't keep up the illusion with you anymore. What are their feelings towards? So they're convinced that the person that they are with is their divine feminine. And they may not use that word. Um, Feminine energy is about nurturance. And in some ways, who how did I hear it once heard? The goddess, if you don't believe in the goddess, who will praise you? Goddess energy and feminine energy, again, you can be male, female, or non-binary. Goddess energy, the motherly, heavenly mother energy, is being able to receive praise, knowing that there's somebody out there that is really proud of you, that believes in the best of you. And for a while, the illusion was with this particular masculine, but because you aren't willing to coddle them through their bullshit, they can still access unconditional divine love if they wanted to, but they tried getting it through you, and that's not karmically correct. You're supposed to get unconditional divine love from self, from source, from your own source consciousness of the universe, like whatever word you want to use. This is also where you could say this is where God steps in if you use that terminology. But this masculine has decided that, no, this is my feminine. This is what I'm going to commit to, this feminine for what it is. So let's get some contrast on this Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, Two of Wands. Yeah, this person's just gone in a completely different direction. Yeah, okay. So we got Five of Swords, Daughter of Swords. Maybe you want to hear this. Maybe you already know this. This masculine does not know how to connect to you on a heart space. They only know how to connect with people through their pain and through trauma bonds. I was saying earlier, this masculine's not talking to you. It's just because on a soul level, they know they shouldn't be talking to you. They know that you do deserve better. Yeah, some of them do owe you an explanation, but some of them are just going to be way too cowardly to ever approach you. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of this video. You are responsible for finding closure. And if you're struggling with it, there are diviners and life coaches out there just like me that can help point you in the right direction. But if you're still struggling with despair and being stuck in a karmic loop and creating all of these advantageous stories, interesting word, therapy is a really great option as well. I want to encourage you, no matter what it is you feel called to do, tap into that feminine energy, making sure that you're taking care of yourself. What do you need to know? This is exactly what I just said. Only you can find closure in this. And that's tough because there's a blame shifting energy you have on you right now, divine feminine, that's making you believe it's this person's responsibility to help you find closure. And I get it. Honest to God, I get it. What kind of advice could I offer the viewer right now so that they can feel comfortable and empowered? Because I just feel this grand sadness from you. Because if anything, to have the closing conversation, at least you could talk to each other again. And I think that's actually the grief. Like, you're bereaved by this person. I want you to really honor that emotion. A lot of emotions have been coming up to the surface, especially now that we are in eclipse season, and this is very Virgo, like Virgoian energy. This is about, taking care of our pets, taking care of our home life, and rebuilding our structure based on the person who it is that we are right now. Yeah, we got 5 of Wands at the base. A lot of 5 energy. This too shall pass. And trust that you will get to the point where you can look back on this situation and be grateful that it's over. That is one way you can work through it. We do have 6 of Wands. This is victory. This is victory over your own mind, victory over, matrix programming, subconscious programming, childhood programming. Like, again, whatever word makes the most sense for you. Ace of Cups. Your success comes down to recognizing your own value. Because in order to get out of this stagnant headspace, thinking that it's this person's responsibility to help bring you back out from the ashes, um, stepping into that courage of really focusing yourself, declaring to the universe, I am worthy. Like, can you say to the universe, I am worthy. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of source consciousness. I am worthy of walking a path that is my own. Because if you're not willing to declare that, again, I do highly recommend therapy, because that's a lower vibrational frequency that it can leave you feeling hyperactive, or even, I want to say, impotent, because at the lowest vibrations, inaction is a masculine wound where it's just, okay, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to lie down in the street and die. Like, it's a little bit masochistic, but that's where this person needs to not be in your life. All they're going to do is diminish your light. You're being encouraged. Oh, I love this, because we have Judgment and the Lovers along with the Mother of Cups at the base. To overcome this is to really tune into your sense of self love. What's the masculine likely to do? 2 of Swords. Don't expect much from this person. I know I was saying earlier they might approach, and that's just to kind of give anybody a heads up. If this person does decide to exercise their free will and come out of the shadows, if they ghosted you, didn't talk to you, and then they show up on their own terms, I want you to listen to that. They're playing a game. It's a game of ego, pride, but also fear. And I really want you to recognize it for what it is. I'm not even going to bother clarifying that. What's the potential final outcome? Ace of Wands. 1 is the loneliest number that you ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1, but the loneliest number is the number 1. Wow. I'm definitely not a baritone, nor am I a tenor. 1 is like, I can't. Like, this masculine's lonely. Like, I know I'm being silly and goofy. Regardless of how this masculine's decided to commit themselves to whatever this karmic situation is. This could be taking care of mom. This could be, committing themselves to a toxic roommate with benefits. God damn. I love my guys. They're just so much fun. I got the card of Temperance underneath it all. Like, it's just a confirmation. This person, like, really? Can you just throw this proverbial fish back into the sea? You have an entire ocean of way better suitors. This person is lonely for life. They will feel lonely with or without you because they're not willing to grow. But you are. You're being encouraged to do so. Wow. What do we have at the top? Mother of Pentacles, along with 6 of Swords. I mean, this person's idea of getting over you, and I have to phrase it that way, is to always be lonely. Because I will say, I didn't show it earlier, but I do have the saboteur underneath the servant, along with the networker, and we got a karmic mother energy as well. Look, they don't know how to deal with their emotions. They had a family upbringing that didn't give them the foundation. You are not responsible for being their mother. You're not responsible for teaching them what emotions are. It's important for you to teach yourself what your emotions are. You've lost yourself in this person, and this reading is giving you the opportunity to take everything back, to reclaim your identity. Allow them to leave. Allow them to walk their own way. Allow them to run. Allow them to lie. There comes a point where there's nothing that they can do to harm you. This person is going to be stuck in an echo chamber of pain, loneliness, and really their own version of hell. You got to let them go. That is the kind and loving thing to do, even from a motherly perspective. Just focus on yourself, because your true victory lies in your ability to love yourself. Because remember, you are worthy and you are love. I'm just saying. Wow. Well, whoever it is that you are, damn, I sincerely hope that this helped. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you found this helpful, drop me a like, send me a comment, join us on Patreon. We got a 7-day trial if you just want to kind of poke in there and see if there's anything that you would find beneficial. Subscribe if you need some more support on your personal journey or still need to tune into what the fuck this person's up to. Otherwise, when I see you guys at the next one, I'm wishing you peace, love, and all the berries.